Everything is a political game. If he gives Democrats 50% of what they wanted to meet in the middle, the right-wing media will attack him. Chuds on X.com will call him a cuck. The president will give him a stupid nickname. Mike Johnson folded, folks. He did it. He folded. Mike, the folding Johnson. Pastor Mike Johnson. There he is. Talking about the government shutdown. Because, as you might know, the government is shut down right now. I think it might stay shut down forever. I think it may not ever come back the way it was. And Mike Johnson's totally okay with that. Donald is totally okay with that. The Supreme Court, with their conservative judges, are fine with that. They don't like the government anyway. Conservatives hate the government, no matter how good it is for them. No matter how many benefits it gives them, they hate it. No matter how helpful it is to them, they hate it. So here is Pastor Mike Johnson speaking about just that.
What circumstances has you bring the House back? What are you looking for before you do that?
Brian, we are anxious to get the House back to regular legislative session, but we have to get the lights turned back on. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in the Senate have got to reopen the government. Again, it's the most fundamental.
They, who aren't in charge, need to get the government back on. They, the Dems, who are in the minority, need to get the government turned back on. They need to reopen the government. Pastor Mike Johnson, you're in charge of that. That's your job. You should be doing that. You should be negotiating. But he refuses to negotiate with negotiators. That's the problem. That's the brilliance of Mike Johnson. He refuses to negotiate with negotiators. Okay? And he's got a principle, and he will not negotiate with people who are negotiating. He will only negotiate with people who aren't negotiating. And if you come to him with a negotiation, you are a negotiator and you need to be shut down. It's insane.
Hello human, it is me, the algorithm. Press the subscribe button to make me happy.
The government is closed because the Republicans are in charge, including Pastor Mike Johnson there. He refuses to spend tax money on the American people to pay for their health insurance. Health insurance is too expensive for most people, so the people begged their government to pay for it. He hates that. He doesn't want that. This is a budget negotiation, and he is refusing to negotiate with anybody on the other side. He's refusing it. Flat out, shut the House down, shut the government down, will not talk to you, will not negotiate, will not listen to what you have to say, won't listen to plans, because he doesn't want to. He wants the government to be shut down. He likes it. The Republicans who wrote this new budget, because they are in charge, chopped the money for the health insurance off. They just chopped it right off. So the people in the House of Representatives need to be negotiating on a compromise. Cut something else to pay for the health insurance, or cut 10% of 10 other things to pay for it. That's how the government used to work. Or maybe you could even convince the Dems to lower the amount of spending on it. Instead of just chopping it off entirely, say, it's too big, cut it down by 20%, something like that. That's negotiation. That's what the House used to do. That's how Congress used to work back in the before times, before the 24-hour news cycles. It's incredibly tedious and boring. But now we have the TV media running all the time. Pastor Mike can't be seen as losing. Everything is a political game. If he gives Democrats 50% of what they wanted to meet in the middle, the right-wing media will attack him. Chuds on X.com will call him a cuck. The president will give him a stupid nickname. Mike Johnson folded, folks. He did it. He folded. Mike, the folding Johnson, will become his new name. He'll be Mike Folding Johnson. He'll get a nickname. And then he will never win another election again on the Republican side. He will get primaried from someone more extreme on the right. I know that sounds impossible. How can you be more extremely right-wing than Mike Johnson? But you can. They'll find somebody.
The folded Johnson is hysterical.
The folded Johnson. He's Johnson just folded right over, you know? And it's his fault that everything is bad. They already blame Biden for everything. And now they get to blame Johnson too. So Johnson becomes the new bad guy. It's getting harder and harder. Tomorrow, it's going to be harder to blame Joe Biden for shit that happens tomorrow. It really is. A year from now, it's going to be even harder to blame Joe Biden. They'll still do it. Fucking meteor could fall out of the sky tomorrow, and that'll be Joe Biden's fault, according to Donald Trump. And it gets harder, so they need a new bad guy. And then they need to have the fucking reality show of who's going to be the next speaker. Nobody wanted to. Remember how they had 20 different votes? They had to go through record numbers of votes to get someone elected as the Speaker of the House. And it was eventually Mike Johnson. One, nobody wants the job. Two, they like the TV aspect of it. They love the horse race. They love the tea. They love all the drama involved. They're the TV party now. They're not here to help you. They're not here to run a government. They're here for kick-ass videos. They're here for all the drama. They are here to make cool TikToks. That's why they're here. Mike Johnson is here to be on TV. He's not there to pass laws. He's not there to do any legislation. No. He is there for television clips. That is what he does. That is his job. Everything is a political game now. Johnny wants the government shut down. He loves emergencies because then he gets to be the emperor. He gets to dictate how everything goes like a dictator. The checks and balances on the president's power are the legislative branch, which Mike Johnson's in charge of, but it's shut down. Doesn't exist. They're not doing anything. They're not showing up to work. They're not passing any laws. They're not doing anything. They're not holding investigations right now. They're doing nothing, which means there is no check from the legislative branch against the president, just the way the president wants it, just the way Mike Johnson wants it to operate. He does not want people to check President Donald Trump's power, including himself. Does not want that. And so he is intentionally, willingly shutting the government down on purpose to prevent people from challenging the president. There is also the judicial branch, but guess what? Half of them are conservatives. The conservative people, the, what are they called? What was the name of that group? The Federal Society figured out 30 fucking years ago that if you really want right-wing dictatorship in this country, you've got to start with the judges. And so that's what they did. They found people who were right-leaning, put them in positions of power within the judiciary, and now half the judiciary is right-wing nut jobs. And 6 out of the 9, or is it? Yeah, it's 6 out of the 9 on the Supreme Court are conservatives. And they just ignore reality. They ignore the law. They ignore what was settled law in the past. They ignore all that to push a right-wing ideology. They are activists. They are the activist judges. And so the judiciary has a conservative majority. So there is no check on the president's power right now. Donald Trump is the authoritarian dictator. Legislature that's supposed to check him is shut down, so he gets what he wants. The judiciary is on his side, so he gets what he wants. I'm half convinced that the government will never reopen. Donnie will put out an executive order that pays the troops, and it will be extra legal, meaning that it's outside normal legal channels, and the Dems will sue him, sure. He'll write an executive order that doesn't have anything to do with any written law anywhere, ever, and say, I'm paying the troops, this pays the troops, I'm allowed to do this, I'm the president, I can do whatever I want, here's the executive order that says pay the troops. Even though that's supposed to go through the House and the Senate. But it won't. He will just sidestep them. He will tell you that the House and the Senate don't work, and he's not entirely wrong, because Republicans made them stop working, and that he gets to do the deciding. Pastor Mike Johnson will continue to lock the doors of government and blame the Dems, then praise Trump for solving the budget crisis that he caused. Mike Johnson broke the government so that the authoritarian dictator Donald Trump could fix it with common sense and executive orders. And we can stop having all these arguments in Congress and the Senate. We don't need them. They're broken. Republicans broke the Senate, and now nobody wants to use the Senate. Republicans broke the House, and now nobody wants to use the House. They ruined the government so that they could replace it with Donald Trump. And the Dems will talk a big game, but they are entirely powerless. They'll sue, but the Supreme Court will allow it. And then it will be set as precedent. The budget will now be set by the president at his whim. He'll back whatever agencies he wants. With no votes, he'll bring them back online. With no deliberation, he will shut down parts of the government that he doesn't want. No negotiation. Whatever he dictates gets done. Whatever he doesn't dictate doesn't get done. And the government will reopen one piece at a time, assuming that Donnie approves of that piece. If he doesn't like SNAP, it does not get re-implemented. If he does not like Obamacare, it does not get re-implemented. He will simply decide. And the Congress, led by Mike Johnson, will do nothing. They don't care. They're not here to legislate. They are here to be live streamers. And I recognize the irony of what I'm telling you. One piece at a time, that's right. I'm a live streamer, but I'm not in Congress, you see. I don't run anything. I don't vote. I don't have a constituency who voted me into power. So I'm allowed to just run my mouth and tell you how I feel into a camera. Mike Johnson is supposed to represent the American people, but he doesn't. He doesn't care about the American people. Most of the people in the Congress don't give a shit about you. They care about their money, they care about their bank account, and they care about their next election, which is why they have to talk to you sometimes, because you have to vote for them. But once the Congress has no power, who cares? They won't care. They care very little now, and they're going to care even less once they lose all their power. And they don't want power. They just want ceremonial duties. They just want to show up, take a vote on a moral issue, some sort of woke or not woke, and then keep making money. That's all they care about. That's what they want. That's what they're there for. They don't want to make decisions. They want to be live streamers. They want to look into the camera, tell you their feelings. The Dems will give grand speeches and soaring rhetoric about the loss of freedom and how America is sliding towards authoritarianism, and it won't matter. Donald Trump owns the DOJ and the FBI, and the House and Senate are closed, and half the judges are on his side. He has won. This is checkmate. This is happening because there is not a left-wing party in America. The Republicans are a right-wing, and the Dems are centrists. They can't do what needs to be done. To stand against Donald Trump, you need to move to the left, and the Democrats refuse to do that. They refuse to disobey their corporate megadonors. They refuse to support left-leaning candidates, even when they're wildly popular. They refuse to learn anything that might move them to the left. Every week, we have another consultant think piece telling the Dems that their problem is that they are too woke and too concerned with climate change and trans issues, and to abandon all that. On the surface, anyway. You can pass the laws about it, but don't talk about it. Don't push for it. Don't advocate for those people. You need to talk about kitchen table issues. You need to pass another $6,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers in Nebraska. Nobody's excited about that. Nobody gives a shit about your tax rebates, your 12% tax rebate. Weak-ass language, weak-ass rhetoric that accomplishes nothing, because that's what the consultants are telling them to do. These consultants that are paying for all these things, that are being paid by the DNC, are telling them what they should be saying, what they should be talking about, what they should be prioritizing, what they should be saying into the camera. Kamala Harris was a more left-leaning person before the DNC got their hands on her. And it's very complicated, but like, she was saying left-leaning things. She chose Tim Walz. Tim Walz is out there pushing fucking Marxism like a good motherfucker should. And then the DNC convention happened, and they shut that shit down. They were like, stop talking about this stuff. Stop being a leftist. You have to come to the center, or else you're going to lose. Then they came to the center, and they lost. While the leftists, AOC, Bernie, Mom Donnie, are kicking ass right now. They're kicking ass, and the people are hungry for it. But that loses consultants' money. And because the consultants are telling the Dems what to say, that's who gets to decide what they say.
Hello again, human. It is me, the algorithm. Press the thumbs up button to experience human feelings.
The consultants aren't interested in telling Dems to say things to get them more votes. No, not the point. The consultants aren't interested in telling the Dems what to say to get on the news. No. Don't rock the boat. No, do not have a personality. Do not come out there with conviction. No, you need to be plain. You need to be Jane. You need to be milquetoast. You need to be quiet and calm and collected. The consultants always tell you what to say to get more money for more consultants. You see, they're self-interested. They're self-dealing at this point. The entire DNC has been taken over by advisors telling the Dems to say into a camera the thing that is going to get advisors paid more. That's it. That's the evil conspiracy that is wrecking our entire political landscape. As usual, it's fucking capitalism. But the consultants, the advisors, the people telling Dems what to say are telling them to say the things that get more advisors more money. It's not to help you. It's not to make your life better. It's not what's popular with the people. It's not what's going to get them more votes. It's not going to get them more attention on the TV screen. No. The advisors want more money for advisors. The consultants want more money for consultants. The think tanks need more money for more think tanks. And so that is what they tell you, Democrat,
They're like
to say.
royal advisors, just saying whatever wannabe king wants to hear and meanwhile scheming behind his back to get theirs.
And they are just draining all the money. That's what the DNC is now. So the Dems, in an attempt to not have to think or decide or take any stands, just perpetuate the money machine that is the DNC. The DNC isn't there to help you. It's not there to get people elected. It's not there to help struggling Democrats in a swing district to overcome and get the ads on the news and put out their message so that other people can hear it. No, they are there to make money. They are there to take in as many donations as possible from as many donors as possible. Mega donors, regular people, they don't care. Bring in the money so that we can divvy it up to the people who make us more money. Give it to Chuck Schumer so he can go to Wall Street executives and tell them everything is fine. Give us some more money. Because that's what Chuck Schumer does. That's what Hakeem Jeffries does. They're New York stockbrokers, you know. They go to the wealthy CEOs and say, everything is fine. Nothing is fucked. Give us some more money. And then they do. And then they promise them, everything will be fine. Here's how the future is going to go. If you give us some money, we will make this future happen. And then they do. And whoever's best at that game, not the best for the people, not the gets the most votes, not the most popular, not the person who has soaring rhetoric at the rallies and has the people cheering. No. None of that's important. Who makes the most money for the organization, for the DNC? That's who gets promoted. That's who gets pushed as a leader. The person who brings in the most dosh. The person who brings in the most dollars. The only way to defeat Donald Trump is to move left. And the things I've been describing for the past 5 minutes are not left-leaning ideals. They're not. Making more money for an organization who just spends it to make more money is not a left-leaning ideal. Giving the tax money, taxing the rich and giving it to the poor, that's a left-leaning idea. You can overdo that. I agree. I understand. That's dangerous. You can overdo it. I get it. I understand that. But it needs to be done at some level. All the money's going to the top right now. None of it is coming down because we do not have any left-leaning people in the government with any power. We have a few left-leaning people, but they're not in charge. The DNC is the centrists. The DNC is run by centrists. The Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are centrists. Even MSNBC, the liberal bastion that the Fox News hates, is just centrist, honestly. They have as many right-wing people. They have former right-wing people all over the fucking network. Joe Scarborough used to be a fucking Republican. There is no left-wing equivalent to Fox News. There is no left-wing equivalent to the right-wing right now. The best you can get is some streamer on Twitch. Yes, there's a couple of really big left-wing streamers online, and they get lots of money. And they're pushing left-wing ideology, but they are ignored and or laughed at by the mainstream media, even though they have higher view counts, you know? And I'm creeping up on CNN, honestly.
Some more news is the best we can get XD.
Absolutely. And that's the best you can get.
Apparently.
I have 4 viewers right now, and I got a few hundred views on my last video. So I'm creeping up on CNN's numbers. You know, that's a joke. Nobody watches CNN unless they're trapped in an airport, right? You don't intentionally go there.
Lol.
But the idea is that, yeah, we don't have a left-wing party in America. We don't have left-wing stuff. So we cannot defeat him. You can't beat Donald Trump by being a centrist. You can't. It's impossible. It doesn't work. The system doesn't allow that. That's just what we have to do, is move left. Somehow, some way, we need to get more left-leaning people.
Click on this video link to appease the many AI overlords.